Hello! Hi, hello. Welcome to, finally, these normally come quite quickly after, obviously, the campaign ends. But yes, the campaign wrap-up of the Chronicles of Nidum. Yes. Before we get into it, though, very quickly, because you've heard them already, and we're going to continue to use them, our sponsors! First and foremost, the wonderful and amazing Loki Battle Mats, an amazing award-winning TTRPG accessory creator. There are many books of battle mats, little, big, giant sizes, and their modular book sets are full of amazing artwork and an awesome backdrop 20 tabletop session. You can, if you want to find out more, search Loki Battle Mat, L-O-K-E, on most social media, or check out the link that is going to be in the chat. Is in the chat?
Is in the chat.
Cool, thank you. To shop for their physical maps, or pop over to Drive-Thru RPG, and you can download quite a lot of their digital maps, which work with all virtual tabletops. But yes, Lucky Battle Mats, go say hi and tell them we sent you. Secondly, the amazing and wonderful Sirenscape. Sirenscape is a fantastic tool. You can pop over to sirenscape.com to check out more. You do not even have to sign up or pay anything. Just logging in and creating an account. Oh, sorry, you do have to sign up. You don't have to pay anything. Logging in, create an account, you get access to 20 sound sets to get you started, just to build the ambience and get your players much more involved. You can play it through a web page. You can play it through your mobile phone. You can play it through a Bluetooth speaker. Go check them out if you need, I don't know, Dragonfire, fun background music, or a weirdly suggestive washerwoman in an alleyway during a busy town day. I don't know why that was
hot washerwomen in your area.
Yes, exactly.
Now.
Thirdly, apparently they're going to be used a lot more in this coming year, as far as AD is concerned anyway. Finally, we've got Sparky & Co., who's not actually Sparky & Co., and I definitely need the new shop emblem for the stream. It's Crafted Campaigns. That's the one I remember now. Yes, Crafted Campaigns. For all of your miniature needs, they are amazing. If you pay them a little bit extra, or you become really good friends with them like we did, they'll actually do an awesome paint job as well, even if it is a terrifying, like, city-sized Tarrasque that has come to murder us all in our sleep. But yes, pop over to Etsy, go show Sparky some love. If they don't have anything on the shop, message them, and if you've got the right files, they'll see what they can do. But yes, also, if you type in the code HEAVY at checkout, you get a barbarian size D12% discount. Cool. We're here. Hello, everybody. Look at all of the pretty people on screen.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello.
Right, who have we got in chat? Biggie. Of course, Biggie's in chat. Heavy.
Stu and Heavy are there as well.
Neat.
Me.
I'm not in it. I don't.
Why has everybody suddenly gone
Chat.
a funny... Why have all the cameras suddenly gone grey? That's weird.
They haven't.
They have?
They did for a second.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now. Oh, there we are. They're back.
Everything
cool.
looks fine to me.
Okay. Oh, no, it was happening on Streamlabs. So...
Oh, yeah.
Nobody moved.
Apparently they were flickering on and off.
But
Yeah, I think that was Rich resetting things, but they're okay now.
No, I didn't.
No, it's fine. We're all there. We're all there. It's good.
I'm not touching anything. I'm just going to leave it now.
Yeah.
This is it. Cool. Right. So, Chronicles of Nidum. 100 and...
What's that?
I've never heard of that before.
How many was it? 103 episodes?
It was at
3
least
years.
6.
There are at least 6 that you can remember.
Oh no! If we're just going by the ones I remember, I think there are about 3 episodes.
Yes, 103 episodes due to...
I've suffered a lot of head injuries since we finished the stream.
Please no, Stu.
I think it was 103 episodes due to COVID, due to
Baby.
Yep, someone bringing a new life into the world. It took 3 years, I believe, November 2019.
Yep.
So 4 years.
4 years
Almost.
close to, yeah.
4.5.
4.5 years for us to do 103 episodes.
Embarrassing.
Look, as long as there's no pandemics
Yeah.
and
No,
none of us are
no
pregnant.
pandemics, no children, no deaths, no surgeries.
There's none of
Everyone,
that.
can everyone
None
agree
of
to
that.
all of that? We're not
No.
doing any of those things. Stop it.
I
None.
like that. Hang on. Full recap before we start. Heavy got it in one. Some adventurers left the Missy village and killed the national treasure. R.I.P. the Inquisitor.
God.
He
Okay.
certainly believed himself to be a national treasure.
Oh, I'm not in mod mode. That's why I can't delete that.
Even looking at it, I'm sorry.
I
I'm
am
trying
in.
to build my new character that's nothing to
I
do
am
with
in
this
mod
Q&A.
mode. How the fuck do you delete a message from the chat?
It should be quite easy.
Wow. Roasted.
But while you get rid of that, there we go.
How did
Cool.
you do that?
Oh, it's happened again. I have to bring Camo up and make it. There we go. Cool. So,
Thank you, Heidi.
before we get into everyone else's questions, if anyone wants to ask any, who can remember what happened in the Chronicles of Nidum?
People left Misty Village, killed National Treasure. Sounds right to me.
Apparently
Did we
so.
steal the Declaration of Independence? I feel like at some point we may have stolen the Declaration
Yes.
of Independence.
That's what we did.
I believe we fucked around and found out.
I believe we were fine. We didn't find out nothing. It's
I think
fine.
I fucked around.
Fucked around, no comeuppance.
I might have died, but
yeah.
I was fine. I got better.
Yeah. No one died because I can't run a deadly campaign. That was my main takeaway.
I came so close.
Millie died.
Yeah,
Millie did die.
She got better. She
Yeah.
died, and then you were like,
was a
"There's
very
a
long
surprise!
train
There's a
journey."
scroll of Revivify right next to you."
Greg had their own mini campaign where they were building their own party.
Hang on, 10 episodes or something on a train? Try again.
10
Biggie.
months or something on a train.
The train was a very long.
Look,
I think that was most of it. I think most of the campaign was
on the
just
train.
we were on a train for a while. We were actually on
around
2
baby
trains,
time,
if I
though.
remember rightly.
That was around baby time,
I
I think.
was it?
no.
No, it was
No?
before baby time, wasn't it?
Oh god.
Look,
I think the train segment was when we were playing really, really regularly,
it was.
and it still took us like 6 months.
Yeah.
Look, you
Train journey was
guys,
epic. I loved that train journey.
you guys decided to play every second of that train journey.
Yeah,
Whereas most
we made
people,
that choice.
when they're traveling in D&D between point A and point B, will play little conversations, and then the rest of it is just talked about in a 5-minute segment, right?
There were too many interesting things.
no, yeah, suck my nuts. You put a load of interesting stuff on the train. Don't then complain that we wanted to play with the interesting stuff on the train.
Yeah, but you didn't. None of you knew about it. But every single one of you wanted
We did
something
know
to
about
do, so you just decided, I'm going to go for a wander, see what I can find. So then I'm like, okay, you find something.
No bullshit. We found like
killed the
everything
Jedi Knight.
everything we did on the train was stuff that you put directly in
racist
front of
Jedi
us. We
Knight.
knew getting onto the train that there are a bunch of humans being transported by it. We knew getting onto the train that there are a bunch of fucking Jedi on the train. Like everything we interacted with on that train was stuff
knew
that
the
you
Inquisitor
dangled
was
in
on
front
the
of
train.
us, and then we're like, "Why are you playing with this thing under? You're like the worst cuntiest cat owner in the world, dangling the little like feather toy in front of them and going, "Why are you playing with this? We could just skip this."
Oh my god.
So,
The train journey was great. I had a whale of a time.
Yeah.
I particularly loved when I got to using thralling performance on the Jedi person. I can't remember what they were called. And then kicked them off the edge of the train and threw a fireball at them. wasn't
That's
as
pretty
epic
great.
as Greg's use of the unmovable rod.
That was
Yeah,
very
movable
good.
rod was pretty fun.
Before we go into like most memorable moments, most epic moments, because that's definitely one of them. Your characters.
Which one?
We played our first campaign together.
Yes.
Everyone played big shiny heroes, or
Which one?
one of the first campaign we played. Everyone played big shiny
No,
heroes.
which character was a big shiny hero?
Forge
You had, that's two. You're
Yeah.
true. The first campaign.
The second one was not a big shiny hero, but he was definitely a highlight of the entire campain.
I played one that was really shiny and one that was a hero.
Good point.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say 6 was the shiny one.
But the first campaign, high fantasy, high magic, adventure constantly. I explained to you going into the second campaign, it would be a bit darker.
Yeah.
I think I undersold it a little bit, probably at the beginning of the campaign.
Had
It was fine.
Your
That
characters.
didn't catch any of that, Millie.
No,
Fuck's sake.
it was just gobbledygoo.
Carry on, talk amongst yourselves.
You're fine now. Why
Yeah, I know.
those characters?
Bisexual disaster, so I made a tiefling. Also, I wanted to make someone who was very different to my first character, because my first person was a tabaxi rogue who was probably should have been my first symptom that I had ADHD. Because she ran in head first, she didn't really listen to people.
So what was the thing that was different from your...
Oriana did not run in head first to things. Oriana just wanted to get shit over and done with. Also, Oriana was more intrigued with who she could get into bed most of the time, and the Cake just wanted to stab the thing and steal its things.
It's true.
Yeah, so I wanted to make someone who was different to Cake. Also, Cake settled down and got married and was pregnant by the end of our first campaign. I was determined that Oriana was either going to be completely ace or the completely opposite. And we went completely opposite. It was very much for making the biggest polycule across the entire world.
She did a good job.
She did a very good job.
What about dice?
Yeah, I also wanted to give a bit of polyamory, a good representation of polyamory. Or at least of what an open relationships could be.
If Ori was poly or if she was just really, really slutty. I don't know if those are... if there's 100% overlap.
No, because she
between
definitely
these.
could. When I made
You
I
can
made
be
a point
both.
when leaving Malcor, and when we left Malcor, and I said, "Look, I won't ever. It's not like I'll be faithful. There will be others, but I am yours."
True.
Yeah,
She
they all
definitely had a
knew
big
about
thing
each
for
other.
Natasha, though. Yeah, they all knew about each other, but she definitely had more of a thing for Natasha.
Yeah.
There was also the succubus.
Succubus, yeah.
There was the...
I mean, who wouldn't?
There was the very, very awkward Calasin guard that you went out on a date with.
There was the Malcor, the Callison guard, the High Elf lady.
I'm sure that guard is fine,
To
by
be a
the way.
druid. Natasha and the succubus. Oh, and there was one of the other guards. No, there was two guards, because there's the one that was in when we just got into France, and there was the one that met
What's
sepsis.
France?
Shalem.
Although I didn't actually go on a date with the one that met sepsis.
No.
They didn't make it to the date.
No, they unalived themselves.
Mhm.
To this point, Oriana thinks she got ghosted.
Terrible things happen sometimes.
He quite literally did ghost her, though.
Being a being a
Very
god
much
is a
so.
really dangerous job. It's a good thing you couldn't like speak to spirits at that point, otherwise we might have had a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the speaking of spirits thing only came in after sepsis was gone, and I was
Yes.
Definitely lucky.
I
yeah.
was gutted.
Well, I mean, you did attack them with a planetar, so
I did consider, actually, with that bit, I did consider, as soon as you got the ability to speak to spirits, I was going to have this angry line of spirits just following you around, just waiting until you could hear them. So they could like just rail at you about every time Sepsis deceived you, every time Sepsis like managed to convince you everything was okay.
well, she certainly got railed enough.
Or did some railing.
Yeah.
It's just been Millie raging at the dogs.
He'd go eat his bed. And he'd have toys if he hadn't put them all in the garden in the rain and then refused to touch them because they were wet.
Yeah, Dwarf Waffle does that.
Kind of his own
So he doesn't have any toys anymore.
Dice.
Yeah,
No.
that was my reason. Dice? Why did you make dice?
No, he said it as though it was my name, but Dice is gone now. Like, can't use the name anymore.
Yeah, as far as we know, they're dead.
Dice.
Rip.
Yes.
Wait. Pretend you've been listening for the last 20 minutes. Why? Charlie literally just fed you the question. Why did you...
I did. I made dice because, I don't know, I had a cleric before. She was very big, powerful, sort of splashy magic, sometimes tried to kill her friends, you know, that sort of thing, by accident. I wanted something that was a bit more of a utility character, could do lots of different things, but possibly not as big, which did turn out to be the case. It was a bit of a frustration with dice sometimes that she didn't tend to hit that hard, but she could run around and do lots of weird little bits on the battlefield and pick people up and fix things and yeah.
Fucking heat, fucking metal, fucking...
But that's exactly an example of what I mean. She didn't have... She wasn't like Fireball, but...
No.
That was
She's
one of
not-
the strange things about playing with dice, actually, was that like I never really felt like I had a clear handle on what you could do in a fight. So like I knew exactly what I could count on Oriana and Ace for, like what was going to come out of them. But I never really felt like I could plan around what dice was going to do, because it was going to be
Yeah.
something like weird and unexpected.
Yeah, when you were trying to plan what you're going to do in combat, and it was like, all right, I'm going to wait and see what dice pulls out of their ass, and then and then we'll plan something from there. You either needed to be like just before dice, or like further down initiative from dice.
Honestly,
Yeah. It was like
Plan.
whenever I was next in initiative after Millie, I felt like I was like, okay, I've got my plan for what I'm going to do on my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, now my turn's going to take 25 minutes because I have to figure out what the hell I'm going to do on my turn.
Yeah, it's come to your turn, you'll be like, oh fuck, what I was going to do
Build
can't be done
upside
now.
down, it's
I'm
now
just
on the
gonna...
ceiling. Yeah,
Well, Millie's just punched that dragon out of the sky, so...
that was fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
honestly, you guys at one point I think were just joking about it, but I was still waiting for the moment where an encounter started, Millie was last in initiative, and all of you turned around and went, I hold my action until dice goes.
Yeah. Genuinely, like, thought about it a lot. I was just like, what's the point? Why would I attack this thing that is going to be either a fish or our ally, or it will turn out to never to have existed by the time Millie's turn runs around.
But that's the thing, I couldn't plan for dice either. Because that I'm gonna kick myself for saying it out loud, but the heat metal should have been a deadly encounter.
You don't run those, so
that thing should have messed you guys up, right?
Yeah, sorry.
But who thinks heat metal in the middle of a fight when all their friends are getting bitch slapped?
Millie, apparently.
Dice.
And honestly, from that, well, dice. From that, I now remember to use heat metal in Baldur's Gate. So I'm like, oh god, that guy's wearing full plate. I'll just heat metal.
Yeah. Cook him. Excellent.
Your own armor is hurting you.
Sort of little utility spells that don't get used that much in D&D, and that was one of my one of my things with dice. I wanted to see what could be done with the smaller.
That was always my favourite thing about playing 6. Like,
Yeah.
very few direct damage spells. A lot of like, oh, I can wangle this into a real problem kind of spells.
Yeah, little
Animate
things that
objects.
make big differences. Animate objects. Yeah, that was another one where Brian was just like, well, for fuck's sake, what do I do with this?
How do you eviscerate an ancient blue dragon with coins? Like, what the fuck?
That was 6 in the first campaign, wasn't it?
Okay. Ace.
Mhm.
Where did Ace come
Yeah.
from?
Ace came from a deep desire for me to want to play a masculine character initially. And then from there, sort of rooted into some of my sort of childhood like loves of just Norse mythology and things like that. And I really wanted to play a paladin for once because it was a race that I'd never played in any sort of context, and I ended up loving playing one, even if I was not very good at it. Because I'd constantly be like, wait, what am I doing?
It's fine.
What is this?
It only took 102 episodes for you to learn that the only thing a paladin should do with their spell slots is smite. It's like 102 episodes. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it only took all of us 102 episodes to work out that you could do like a branding smite and then apply divine smite to the attack on top.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
We
because up
got
until
through it though, it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah, he's forever my good boy with an ITM, and yeah, I just wanted to like. I always enjoy playing stuff where it's like I get to think more deeply, sort of about how the character would respond to things, and like I know as a character, I played him very like withdrawn and very like quiet a lot of the time, but like when I did get to make him speak, I feel like I felt with the character more than myself, which is nice.
Oh yeah, you had wonderfully like profound paladin moments in the conversation where everyone else is dominating the conversation. Suddenly Ace speaks, and everyone's like, okay.
oh, there's someone here who
Voice
thinks
of
that we
reason.
shouldn't rob the whole village before we leave.
Yeah,
but that's stealing.
Yeah.
It was stealing.
Is that
They've
episode
never
2?
stolen a thing in their lives.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's one of my
Christ.
first favourite Ace moments.
That's
But
stealing.
that's stealing.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not. Can't deny that.
Yeah.
Hey, the reason I've left Greg for last.
Yeah, which character? What we should have really done is we should have done. I should have gone between
Each
everyone.
person.
It should have been like Charlie,
Yeah.
me, Millie, me, me. Yeah, which character do you want to know about?
Sepsis.
Well, we've talked about this a lot.
We have, but not on the stream. That was
the like genesis of me coming up with the idea for Sepsis was that I watched a really good YouTube video about how you can play an evil character in a non-evil party without being disruptive, and the answer was like, oh, you have to essentially play a lawful evil character so that they're predictable to people, etc. And I was like, yeah, but not if like it's just me being contrary, like just trying to come up with a reason why that creator, who I really respect and think made a really good video, was wrong, and why I could do it in a way that they said that they were saying categorically you shouldn't. So it's partly that, and then like the actual like the design of the character came from like privation studies. There's like studies of children who've been brought up in extreme neglect scenarios, who essentially like grow up without any of the like ability to be social or sociable, and with like really severely severely deteriorated reasoning skills, but also like this thing of like, it's very often true that people who've been treated incredibly cruelly develop this really strange relationship with cruelty. And just like a lot of that stuff, but primarily it was about the like, oh no, I definitely know how to play an evil character in a way that you're saying I can't.
Catfish one of us has got a psychology degree.
Yeah, and then there was also like Ricelim from the Dragonlance books was a big inspiration, because that was my answer to how can you play an evil character who isn't disruptive, is make them so kind of physically weak and small and scared that they feel that they need to keep up the facade of being a good member of this crew in order to have a chance of surviving. And obviously they have this like innate because of their upbringing, they have this innate like belief that anyone that they come across is going to be dangerous and is going to want to hurt them. And yeah, so that was where the idea for Sepsis came from. And it was also like I wanted to play something that was so like Forgebane was a
Sorry,
a character that
I apologize.
It's okay.
For the stream.
Forgebane was a character that I didn't that I like never thought of as a character until I started playing him. Six was a character who was very much like a wishful fulfillment for me, and then Sepsis was like, I want to play a character who's nothing like me, and I never feel like am I making this decision because it's what I would do or because it's what the character would do. Like with Sepsis, it was always so clearly delineated. Like I'm constantly doing things I don't want to do because it's what the character would do.
Good.
Yeah. Like it actually hurt sometimes to do things to like make in character decisions, because I'm like, oh god, I don't want to do, killing an old woman.
Can't believe you killed that old woman.
You forced me to kill an old woman.
Can't believe you could. It's nothing to do with me. It was the roll of the dice. You rolled an investigation check. That was the shop you found. It's nothing to do with me. Out of my hands.
Why was that shop on the list?
Because it was.
You wrote the list. Who wrote the list? You.
Yeah. A list of shops. We could have been rolling to like find a shop to go into to visit. It's not
bullshit.
Exactly.
It wasn't a list of shops where Sepsis can kill someone.
Though also, that would be a good list to have around if someone on your team is playing as Sepsis.
It became the list of shops.
Yeah. List
So, yeah,
of Sepsis potential victims.
That's the answer. That's why.
Okay.
That's why I came up with that awful, awful character who everyone hates, and we're very glad that they're gone forever and we'll never see them again, right, Bray?
Of course.
Your next character was Quill.
Quill. Yeah.
Who I believe Quill was created specifically, and I remember you saying the reason that Quill exists. I need a character that can have a sword fight on top of a train. Those were your exact words.
I really missed being like heroic, and playing a character who wanted to be heroic and was doing it for like joy and like genuine reasons rather than like grudgingly when they couldn't avoid it. So yeah, it was fun to play like a sort of to take like a cat person and make them like an Errol Flynn fucking Princess Bride style, like swashbuckling
rich boy.
Like yeah. But also the other thing with Quill, obviously, which we talked about in the background a whole bunch, is I wanted to give you a lore drop mechanism.
Thank you for that, by the way.
So that's where a lot of Quill's backstory came from. Because like that, the idea of the of like someone who can have a sword fight on top of a train, that doesn't tell you anything about their backstory. So the whole like magic book thing, I thought would be fun for you.
Mm-hmm. And it was. And finally, the Reverend.
Yeah, it was just Cad Bane. It just came from watching The Mandalorian and being like, Cad Bane's really cool. I want to be like Cad Bane in
I did not know you'd based. I did not know you based him off Cad Bane.
It's literally started with the hat.
Cad Bane is not a good guy.
Started with the hat, and then I built the character down from the hat. But yeah, so I just wanted like when I was just like I really want to wear I just really want a character who wears a hat like that and has a long duster jacket and then from there I was like I'm just gonna make him such a like stereotypical. Yeah, it is a cool hat. I was just gonna make him such a stereotypical like a Western like oh no I don't do that sort of thing no more. I hung up my spurs years ago. Like I just wanted to play that kind of like you know, I've forgotten his name. I know his real name is it was Marilyn or Marion.
John Wayne.
What's his Clint Eastwood, John Wayne. Yeah, that's the one. John Wayne, Clint Eastwood kind of character.
The
'Cause
old cowboy.
I thought it'd be fun, particularly as well because like by that point the party was so like traumatized and withered by what they'd been through.
Yeah.
That
We were
it
all
actually,
super mad
like-
that our friend was making bad choices.
it felt like when I came in with Quill, he felt out of step with the party because he was quite fresh and the party were quite like, you don't know what we've fucking seen.
You don't know what we've been through.
So with the Reverend, I wanted to bring someone in who'd also been through some shit, and maybe had like a hopeful edge to that. Like he'd been through some shit and become a better person. That maybe like would see something in the party of like his younger self or like what he could have been, kind of thing.
I think my favorite one of your characters. I loved everyone's characters, but if I had to pick a favorite of Greg's, only because Greg is the one that gives you a choice.
Because I have so many.
Will always be Sepsis.
Yeah.
Thank you for that gift.
Mhm.
I haven't used the gift properly yet. Thank you.
No, not properly. I mean, you used it to kill Ace.
That's
I know.
It's there's no denying that.
I have
Oh, good.
so many plans.
Again. Oh, good.
You'll see Sepsis again. I promise.
That was part of another thing that, like, when we first I remember when we first talked about Sepsis on the train, and I was like, essentially like asking if you'd be cool with me making an evil character like that. I was like, look, the likelihood is that this character isn't going to make it to the end of the campaign, and at that point you were making fun of me for changing characters. That was 3 characters ago.
Mhm.
And I was like, which means that like they very well could end up in your hands as some sort of side villain. Because I swear I heard the cogs start whirring then.
Oh, by the time we started the campaign, I had everything in place for Sepsis.
Mhm.
Okay.
I wasn't surprised when the Book of Vile Darkness showed up. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That was so good. Okay. Everyone's favorite moments. Not of their own, or just maybe of their own, but of the campaign.
Oh, the train with the immovable rod.
Yeah, the train
I know
with the
it-
immovable rod was pretty fucking
It's just
epic.
such a good moment. Like that.
And it took me a minute, like someone had to explain to me afterwards what actually had happened, but because then I realised, oh, immovable object, moving vehicle.
Yep. It was such a good bit of thinking from both Greg and like a good use of, again, a tool that isn't like
Yeah.
quite often people use it to hold up a door, right? Or
Yeah.
stop someone breaking through a door.
Which you had done. You
Yeah.
used
Yeah,
one of the movable rods to hold the door
Used
closed.
it to climb stuff. We used it to hold a door closed. We did all of that sort of stuff with it.
Yeah.
But I
But
don't
just
think anyone
on
else
a moving
ever has
thing,
used
like,
it to.
hold this, and
No one's ever used it to rip off part of a train carriage and the person in it. I mean, that's not a common usage of this device,
Yeah.
and I think that's bloody wonderful. I love that.
Yeah. dice heat metal, still very
Mm.
good.
Just absurd.
Just ending that, yeah, the look on Bry's face.
I feel like a roleplay moment that really stuck with me. Charlie playing Ariana and the reaction to Obi-Wan Kenobi's death. Sorry, that wasn't his name.
Benkins.
Ben King.
Benkin's death.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. There was
You did really well with that.
Benkin's death. You made me cry.
Sorry.
6. No, was it 5?
6.
Fives.
six.
Five.
Fives, yeah.
Killing fives.
Hmm.
I almost drove to your house.
Yeah.
And then when you made me kill Anne Kane.
Mhm.
That when I had to mercy kill Anne King. Those
This
are.
isn't-
I
this
hate
isn't
you,
friend
and you
behaviour.
use Star Wars against me.
It's the furthest from friend behaviour. It's just enjoying torturing Charlie.
It's D&D.
Very mean.
I'm not your friend during D&D. I'm
I
the dungeon master.
absolutely. I live for it. I love it. Yes. Let
I
me get
think-
emotional and roleplay.
Yeah, we all
I'll
love
do it.
it.
My favourite roleplay moment is when Dice and Oriana had an argument when Oriana became terrified of letting Dice go out as a human.
Mm.
And wouldn't let Dice go out and tried to control. I didn't realise by doing that
Yeah.
they were trying then to control Dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
really
it was
enjoyed
from a
that.
place of fear of I don't want you to go out there and get hurt.
It was a really emotive moment, and I think it was. I think we both did. I was proud of both our performances during
Yeah.
that because
What's great is we're messaging each other the whole time.
You know,
Going, this is
it's-
great.
I
I love
about to
this.
say, I was like, I love the little like in our group chat. You were like, "I'm not mad at you. It's fine. I love you, really."
I love it.
Yeah.
It was everyone in chat. Like, are they?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
are they
this is
okay?
in character, right?
I was watching. I remember sitting there just watching. I get all starry-eyed. When it's like, and Millie, you're amazing. But when Charlie like gets really deep in roleplay, obviously I'm a bit of a simp, and I get really starry-eyed, and I just sit here like, God, my wife is talented.
I love roleplay. Roleplay is my favourite bit of D&D.
Mm.
And anything where you can get really dramatic or really into it, I love it.
yeah,
I would say my
Even if I
my
sit there
favorite
crying afterwards.
my favorite moment. One of my favorite moments of playing D&D ever was as Sepsis finding that that girl being tormented by the ghost and just coming back to the party and being like, "There's nothing in there."
having that.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I just
All of us
because
sat
like
here seething, like knowing exactly what you'd done, but at the same time we were like, we got to play it off, though we don't
that's
know.
right.
Every
knew-
single
as soon as I
insight
came
check
back,
that we failed against
as soon as I came back, I was like, I had to. I put a lot of faith in you guys not to metagame
Oh, yeah.
in that
Yeah.
moment. And I was just, but I was, and like I've said this before, but I was when Sepsis found that happening, I was like desperately because obviously I want to know what's going on. I want to play out the scenario. I want to do the story that Bryce set up for us and find out what's what the resolution's going to be and how we can fix it. But Sepsis doesn't, and I couldn't come up with a single solitary justification for why Sepsis would come out of that cave and be like, "Guys, there's a girl, we need to help," and they just wouldn't. So I just had to come out and be like, "Nothing there, just a cave, empty cave."
I
No,
still
they
don't
wouldn't.
know what Sepsis's deception is, but I do remember several times all of us
Oh,
rolling really high on insight and still not getting it.
It's
Just the end, I was
absurd.
like, even if I rolled a nat 20, I could not work out what if Sepsis was lying or not.
So
which is-
if you remember when we were doing character creation and Bri was like, "Oh yeah, you can all have expertise in one thing," I was so excited by that because I was trying to plot out how I could stat Sepsis out to get expertise in deception because I knew it was going to be crucial. I knew it was going to be necessary to play that character and not get kicked out of the
Yeah.
party. So when Bri was like, "Oh yeah, you can all just have expertise," I was like, "Great, now I don't have to take a level in Rogue."
Yeah. Well, what was nice is that it spawned, like with Oriana's relationship with Sepsis, is that because I wanted to go into that going, I can't play suspicious because I'm failing insights. Everything seems normal. I can't play suspicious.
That's such a
But
test,
it
isn't it?
is an easy thing about being around Sepsis. So Oriana just became this like, you know what? You do you. I'm not going to interfere.
That is such a test
have
for
a
everyone
Go
to
over it.
like know something's going on, but like your character doesn't know and
Yeah.
also has no reason to suspect what's going on.
Yeah, and I
you
think
just
that's
have
what
to be like,
led to
gotta
the
let it
end
go.
then, where Oriana hears Sepsis, and and is like at the end going, "Fine, I'll help you,"
hmm.
because as far as Ariana's concerned, yeah, Sepsis is a threat. They're not a problem for us right now.
Yeah.
And I think Oriana understands that what Sepsis is doing, they're doing for themselves. And it is a survival thing.
I
That's
Yeah.
what everybody else, I don't know.
will let you know, Sepsis' deception when they left the campaign as a playable character was plus 13.
Right, so
I got
need to
some
stack
lucky
insight
rolls as
somehow.
well.
Just gonna keep stacking insight.
Oh yeah, Sepsis couldn't roll for shit on a lot of things, but every time you tried to do an insight check on Sepsis, it was like you couldn't roll below 15. You could.
I just remembered I have been mortally wounded.
I'm mortally wounded was also that was a fun. The argument with the Drow Queen was another huge favourite moment for me. Coming back like bloodied and beaten, yeah, coming back bloodied and beaten from the Beholder, and being told like, oh yeah, now please go and investigate the Illithid, and being like, no, and also, are you fucking insane?
Like, are you mental? What?
It was fun because that felt like a little breakdown of the like fantasy RPG trope,
Yeah.
right? Where we're like, was your whole plan to just wait for some adventurers to turn up? We're like, you've got a whole fucking civilization down here. What would you be doing if we hadn't just wandered down here one day?
Yeah.
How would you be dealing with these problems? Surely not us.
After saving her son, Oriana's reaction to finding out he'd gone missing again.
Mm.
I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Mm.
What do you fucking mean?
I love playing D&D with you guys.
Yeah, me too.
You're okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I've got one more favourite moment, and it is rolling a natural 20 to on a death saving throw, immediately followed by a crit on a attack roll in the same round in the last fight.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's actually fucking absurd. I can't believe that happened. I rolled them on D&D Beyond, otherwise I wouldn't even believe myself about it.
I was looking at it when it came up, and if you go back and watch that stream,
yeah,
my eyes are just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, and it's there.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
getting
insane.
to have the killing blow on the Inquisitor and then getting to judge his soul was fun. That was cool. That was very cathartic. And I know I fucked up what I was meant to say because I was very emotional. But yeah, I think I said I have judged your soul and find it lacking and sentence you to an eternity in Avernus.
Sorry, I was laughing at AD being like, boo.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime we had to talk to the Inquisitor was a highlight.
Yeah.
Just such a great character.
The Inquisitor is my favourite character to hate. Just a great character to punch in the face. From the first dinner with him at Port Tower, where he was being really gross with eating and wanted to look out the window and watch all the human miners. As in, cold.
Yeah, I get it.
Miners.
Child.
Probably that as well, let's face it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was that kind of dude.
He seemed the type.
Where he literally didn't even imply, he just literally turned around and offered you the position of trophy wife.
Yeah. Yeah, no implication, just said you can, be cared for and be a trophy wife. I was like, oh no.
I will say, like, particular credit to
Somebody else
Harry.
had offered that to Oriana. She might have said yes, but just not him.
It's not him. Particular credit to you though, Bri, because he was a really hard character to play, and you did it so well and so believably. Like, everyone hated him, but we loved to hate him. Like, he was an arsehole, but yeah, we really loved to hate him.
Yeah.
I remember you finishing
great
sessions
villain.
sometimes when you'd finish the session and then you'd like do the outro for the stream, and then you'd be like, ugh,
Yeah.
get this motherfucker off me.
And then messaging me to apologise and ask if I was okay. And like, yeah, it's fine.
No, honestly, because I've said it to you guys many times before, but when creating the Inquisitor, I wanted to make him easy to hate.
Yeah.
So I went all of the yes, okay, he's, I suppose, high society and very well spoken and eloquent, but I wanted to make him like the ultimate fuckboy.
You made him attractive.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to make him scum. But
Only briefly.
Two.
I think what you made him is like you made him the perfect like single
High elf.
person embodiment of the whole system that we hated.
Yeah.
Like it's not even just that he was. I mean, he was a great character on his own, but beyond that, it was like, yeah, this guy perfectly encapsulates why we hate this whole fucking empire and this whole fucking system is so like down to like the rot and the corruption and everything at the core of him. He felt like a microcosm of the whole like antagonistic world you'd set up for us.
Yeah. He was like the Empire's poster boy. He was somewhere to target all of your rage, basically. Yeah, I wanted him.
And we did.
We did.
But I really enjoyed with the Inquisitor. I actually got to develop his like weird psychoses because of every time you interacted with him. Because there was so much utter disrespect in every interaction you had with him. You broke him little by little. You made him worse because he just could not wrap his head around the fact that he had no control over you.
Yeah.
What that mean? I could fix him. I could make him worse.
Yeah. Oh, you made him worse. But yeah, but it was honestly horrible to try and like all of the other NPCs you have, even the bad guys. It was fun trying to like wear that mask for a little bit and play it against you. It was a lot, but to get when I was doing the Inquisitor, it was like that kind of whole, just like kind of posture shift and the way that the cadence of the speech and everything. It was honestly uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me to be him for like a 4-hour session.
It kind of felt like we sort of chose our own villain in that sense, right? Like because we reacted so strongly to the Inquisitor and we were so, we set out to make an enemy of him, essentially.
Oh yeah,
and it's like it felt like the enemy, the big villain of the campaign, or the big villain of the campaign was always going to be the Nothing, but like the big villain of the Empire could have been the Grand Inquisitor, or it could have been Ankane even, or like several other things. But it was just like we bounced off the Inquisitor so much that it was like, well, this is the guy that we're gonna.
It's just too good to let be a brief thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think AD would have forgiven you if he'd just been a brief thing and never turned up ever again. So I think AD would have ever let you guys live it down.
Charlie tells me there's nothing wrong with a brief thing.
Okay. What about...
Millie got it. There we go. Millie got it.
Swiftly on.
I'd have shut down the channel and C&D. There we go, AD. Thank you.
I
Okay.
think Wizards is doing a pretty good job of that themselves.
Hilarious.
Most shocking moment or moment where you hated me when I like flipped something or dropped some lore on you.
Oh.
Can I say that it was nothing to do with either of those? My moment I hated you was that an alarm is definitely a trap.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important.
That's it. That is a trap. I gotta say,
Hi, Mochi.
I'm so on Millie's side of this.
Oh, so sorry now, but he refuses to admit it on camera because it would mean that we judge him, but he actually did come round to it when I sat and read the definition of a trap to him at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Let it go.
No.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I was so angry with you in that moment. I was tempted to come into the room, pour a glass of water over your head, and then kick you in the shins.
As angry as Embersol?
Yeah, because it was something I was trying to do that would have made this a lot simpler, and you wouldn't listen.
Oh my
So
God,
that annoyed me.
Revealing that Benkin was Oriana's uncle.
Yes, that was good.
So that nearly got incesty.
Well, yeah, it was, I thought the entire campaign
Very
had
Star
a
Wars,
very
very
Game
Star
of
Wars.
Thrones vibe.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
Star
I
Wars,
loved it.
very Game of Thrones. But also Ankane at the end, because Oriana genuinely, and I did genuinely think that I'd be able to save him, and then you made me kill him because you're a twat.
It was fives for me, I think, and that's funny because I haven't even watched that show, so it doesn't. I don't have the like pre-existing trauma that you could poke.
But it's
prod
almost,
at.
but it's almost like if you remember, obviously going back to the first campaign we played together, I gave you Bilo and Spazil, the two automatons,
Yes.
friends with
Hello.
obviously the vampire. But it's almost as if
Put some respect on that vampire.
it's almost as if he's me. It's almost as if I'd killed
I love that
one of them.
character.
It's almost as if I done it to like Spazil.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a trope of like making the party's favorite NPC the villain, and you didn't do that. Instead, you were just like, "Hey, what about this sweet robot who's never done anything wrong ever in their life? What if I just fucking murdered them?"
Didn't even
it's
murder
that
him.
kind of thing.
You just turned him off.
Yeah.
That's
Still
imminent.
murder.
That's what was worse, is that it was
Murder.
just done in a switch. There was nothing we could do. It just happened. It was like,
Yeah.
what?
It's bad. That was bad. You're a bad person.
The moment that stands out for me where you all got really annoyed by
You're gonna bring up something we've forgotten we're pissed off with you about. And we're gonna be pissed off with you
We're
all
gonna be
over again.
mad about it.
No, I'm just gonna say one phrase. There's nothing west of Avalon.
Oh yeah. Hmm. I
There's
mean-
nothing less about. Of course, there's fucking nothing.
When 75 sessions in, somebody like it was explained to you, there is nothing west
Yeah,
of
the
Avalon.
answer is there's
Mm.
nothing west of Avalon, and it's yeah. I mean, I don't know if I was pissed off with you, like in the sense that like you'd like done some sort of gambit. It's more that I was pissed off with you that it was like a dad joke, and you'd spun our whole campaign
on a dad
on
joke.
the
On a
axis
dad
on
joke?
the axis of a dad joke, and like
Yeah.
how dare you actually? Pretty
That-
pretty iconic actually.
That was the entire point.
Yeah. Mhm.
I was waiting so long for that reveal, and just
Mm.
there's
Yeah, I
nothing
wanted to get up and walk away at that point. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Feels like something I would do, and I don't mean that as a compliment.
Okay.
Something I would do derogatory.
Apart from the Inquisitor, then
Hmm.
favorite major NPC.
Ooh. So apart from the
I was just like,
You travelled a
they're
lot.
not-
You
I
met a
wouldn't-
lot of
I wouldn't
people.
say they're- I wouldn't say
Tradesman.
they're a major NPC, but I really liked the fucking those guys on our boat on Aurelia. What were they? Little gnome man.
The gnomes. Yeah.
I fucking love those.
all of the gnomes. Those were great.
Pretty great.
And
Natasha,
our monk friend
loved
whose
Natasha.
name is like, oh yeah, Natasha, our monk friend that we lost at some point. I can't remember where. Is that from this campaign even? My
No,
brain
the monk is
fried.
from the
I
first. The
think
monk is from the first movie. You're
I
thinking
am
of
confusing
what's his
things,
face? That's
yeah,
with an L.
Sorry.
Yeah, Legolas.
Yeah.
Leonidas.
Leonidas. That's it.
Leosin.
Always got to give a shout out to Altair. You put some respect on that vampire.
Yeah, I'm with Piggy here. My favorite major NPC, and he was a major NPC.
Oh, it's the
Tradesman.
Trainsman.
the
Yeah.
tradesman. Fucking
Yeah,
weird.
tradesman.
Trainsman.
Best guy ever.
Just like trains.
He really liked trains, and there was
Like
nothing
people.
else about him that was interesting.
No,
He was like one of the most. He was a vampire and one of the most prolific serial killers.
he was a
in-
what?
In the world.
He was a what?
How dare you burn his name with those words?
How dare you accuse him of such things?
Yeah. He was just a nice little guy.
Honestly,
He loved trains.
I'm glad Biggie reminded you all. Trainsman was genuinely one of my favorite.
I already said tradesman before Big
Sorry.
typed that.
I was honestly
other
one of
people
my
talking.
favorite NPCs to play. Was Trainsman because he was just this, like,
I'm actually so mad that tradesman didn't come back at the end of the series, or
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
some
just
sort of major
somewhere.
way. Chekhov's tradesman didn't reappear. I'm pretty upset about it.
you didn't.
The prince.
Yeah,
the
he was
prince
great.
and his husband guard.
Yes.
Yeah, they were great. I loved the prince.
Prince Jean-Luc
From
and Henri,
Yeah,
his captain of his guard.
meeting him as boxing in a tavern.
I don't love Marcus, but I do love Marcus. If that makes sense.
I was I
Um,
was holding back Marcus. I was like, I kind of like Marcus, but also he was a dick.
Yeah,
But,
no, he's a massive dickhead.
I never liked Marcus.
Uh,
Marcus is a great character. Oriana never liked Marcus.
Yeah.
it was nice to just have beef with an immortal guy, who sort of genuinely believed. I don't think ever really saw it coming. I think we took out our like frustrations at Albus Dumbledore on him. It's just like, yeah, no, you were supposed to be the responsible person in charge. You fucked this all up, and you did it because we were important to some sort of fucking prophecy, and I'm going to kill you, actually.
Mm.
But yeah, I can't because you're immortal. Fuck.
Yeah, well, exactly, but
But I can send you home.
but Sepsis gave it the old college try, and that's what matters to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sepsis gave a college try to a lot of things that wouldn't have really worked. Sepsis once threw an Eldritch Blast at Odin, which you know is fun.
It wasn't. Odin was another really fun character. I always enjoyed whenever Odin showed up.
Yeah, whenever Odin was around, I was just like, my liege.
I feel like whenever Odin showed up, I could see that like twinkle in your eye while you were waiting for us to recognize who it was.
Same
And
with
I was,
Loki.
yeah.
I did enjoy interacting with Loki, especially Oriana drinking with Loki.
Loki was just a fun one to throw in there every once in a while, just rock up. It's like again on the train, just on the train for.
Yeah.
It seemed where all the interesting stuff was going to happen. So yeah, I'm here.
Another thing that like you're like, oh, you could just skip all the stuff on the train. Yeah, no, we wouldn't have done that. Like we wouldn't have had that. We couldn't have skipped it.
But
I don't know why you pretend that we could have.
On the train. I love the train.
So stop giving me so much shit about you being stuck on a train.
That's not what we're doing.
About the train.
It's not.
We go on about the train because we loved the train.
It is funny that it took. It's funny that it took 6 in real life months to go on a
train journey,
80-mile train journey.
And the fact that you gave us such an enjoyable experience with trains when we're all on like the neurodivergency train, made it even funnier to me
It definitely doesn't doesn't hurt my case that you are a person who has autism. That you're like, oh, I'm just gonna derail this campaign with a long train section now. And also one of the villains of the whole thing was a train that eats souls.
I don't know why that kept coming up.
Two major trains in the campaign, and you haven't been tested yet. It's really
and a guy whose name was literally Trainsman.
Yeah, who was obsessed with trains. Obviously, your self-insert character.
Yeah.
My other favourite moment, and this is heavily leaning towards Sepsis again.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the last times that you decided to go and scratch your murder itch. When
the hag?
Yeah. When you went off on your own and found the old lady. And I think the session ended literally with, and as you walk into her parlour, you hear the lock click behind you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I had to do it at one point. I did have to do it at one point.
I mean, it's the old joke, right? That in a D&D campaign, every shopkeeper is a retired level 20 adventurer.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's amazing that Sepsis hadn't been killed by a level 20 paladin. Just summarily executed before that point.
Well, that's the thing.
So yeah, the hag was funny. Another thing you stole from Baldur's Gate.
No, it isn't.
To be fair, Baldur's Gate came out afterwards.
I know.
Oh, there was Act 1 out then?
It came out after almost all of this stuff. This is completely irrelevant.
I don't know
To
how
me,
long was
so-
Act 1 out as beta.
It was a really long time, actually. So
Act
maybe he
one-
did steal that
Act
idea
1 was
from.
2020. October.
And when was the hack?
2020.
Around about 2020.
Yeah, I
After
think it
that.
was- Yeah, so you did steal it from Baldur's Gate, is
You
what we're
kill
saying.
Ethel.
No, I'd been wanting to punish you with one of your choices for a while at that point, because obviously I believe the time before that was in the Underdark,
Mm.
where 3 bandits.
That's the one where they
decided-
got jumped by bandits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't go so well for them.
Not at all.
I was really nervous when that happened because, like, it's all like that's always a fun part of any like D&D campaign when the like party of adventurers gets jumped by bandits and very quickly shows them that they've chosen the wrong group of people to fight. But that doesn't usually happen to just one character caught on their own.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I'd been working towards the synergy of Devil's Sight and no, not Devil's Sight. Was it the sorcery thing? Casting darkness with sorcery points, and
That's
you
the
can
one.
see through it. I think it was
Mm.
that. I've been working towards that for a few levels, and I think I got it very shortly before that,
Mhm.
because that was my thinking with sepsis. Is like, they are very vulnerable to getting caught out on their own because they go out on their own to do shit, and this is a very like casting darkness that you can see through, only you can see through, is a very like one versus many
Yeah.
tactic, right? Like that really turns the tide of that fight. The fact if that fight had happened a few sessions earlier before I'd got the ability to do that, I don't know if sepsis could have survived.
Mm.
So that would have been different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been re-rolling your character for a very different reason.
Yeah, I might have had 4 characters in this campaign.
I like that, Big E. That was a complete Rorschach moment. You think I'm trapped in here with you? You're really trapped in here with me? Definitely.
How did I get out of that? I don't remember what happened.
You straight up just murdered them.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
right, okay.
murdered the shit out of it.
Yeah.
You straight up just murdered all 3 of them.
No, the hag, I mean.
Oh, the hag. Oh, you almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fully
Yeah.
almost died. And I remember you saying that you took. I'm gonna take the long way round back to the train to meet my friends because I need to clean myself up. Because you were like you were half dead.
Because I couldn't walk in looking like I'd just been beaten half to death.
Yeah, exactly. But that was
I
tough.
have to go back and rewatch that because that I remember that being really like frantic.
Yeah, sepsis was almost killed, and no one would have ever known where they'd gone, what happened to them, nothing. That would have derailed the campaign because that would have literally, I think,
Oh,
taken
that would
you
have been
all
really interesting.
off the train
We're looking for sepsis, yeah.
looking for sepsis.
Mm.
But no, there were.
Nah, but I mean, like, they're fine. They can look after themselves.
Let's go to Paras. Come on, everyone else is like, no, we need to find sepsis. Ariana's like, I'm not getting off this fucking train.
I am
Look
a
off the train,
million
I'm
percent
being on the train.
certain you couldn't have made Ace leave without finding out what had happened to
Yeah.
sepsis.
Nope, not.
Yeah,
no way in hell.
trying to physically pull Ace under the train. Ace like, nope.
That would have been crazy. God, I haven't really thought about that.
Does anyone in chat have any questions for them?
Or for Bray.
Oh, for Bray.
Yeah, all for Bri.
Nah, I'm not
I've got a
important.
question. Where's Millie?
Making sure the kids have actually gone to bed.
Okay.
Say goodnight.
I'm
to
going to guess she's concluded that they haven't, based on the fact that she's been gone
Yeah.
for like 20
You need
minutes.
to get a camera like we have to watch.
It's one of those. You can watch Disney Plus until 9 o'clock, and then put yourself to bed,
Yeah.
Mm.
and then she's gone up,
Cool.
and they're probably still
Oh.
watching Disney Plus.
I just saw a reflection on the poster. So maybe
I think she may
Children.
also now be letting the dogs back in as well. But yes, where
Where do you
do see
I need
Ariana
to go to see
cosplays.
Ariana cosplays.
So, fun fact, I did buy some of the stuff for an Ariana cosplay. I had the wig and the horns and I did start looking at drafting patterns for one of her outfits. And then I got pregnant. And then things are not where they used to be.
You are as hot or more hot than you've ever been.
There we go. Biggie's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mel,
I will pay to see that.
Mel,
I'm back. Yes. Hello.
favorite NPC that isn't the Inquisitor or Trainsman?
What's wrong with Trainsman? Why can't I have Trainsman?
We've already said Trainsman.
I've
That's
already
fine.
said Graysman.
But I did say favourite major NPC, and
Your camera doesn't know if it wants to focus on you or your poster.
It's when I drink, it focuses in on Killjoy's face. I'm sorry I had to disappear, by the way. Finn's got a bit of a temperature. I had to go and find Kelpol. He's fine. So, probably Natasha. I like her.
Yeah.
She's got an edge to her. I like edgy characters.
I was hoping we were going to get out of this without anyone picking one of Bry's Marvel characters.
Well, my-
just
my-
as,
I love
just
it.
as a
That's
fuck
like we
you
said
to
that earlier.
I need to settle something with Natasha. Oriana definitely topped Natasha. It was not the other way around.
He's asked a valid question, though.
Oriana can keep telling herself that.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
not
there
how
was.
I was seeing it. Is Oriana when with someone else who identifies as female is very much in charge, but when drawn to masculine was always drawn to the bigger masculine, which is, like Malcor being half orc and
Ace is
I would
dead.
like you to roll for top, please.
Ace's dad.
I feel like it was a.
Roll for
I feel
top.
like it was a persistent fight throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For
100%.
who's on top.
Fight for dominance.
But if it became
Yeah.
a physical fight, it was definitely not
A bit like, yeah. Well, yeah, because Oriana's got nothing. Like Lae'zel and
Use
Shadowheart.
magic in a physical fight.
It would be like Lae'zel and Shadowheart.
Yeah,
I like Tony's question.
I like Tony's question too.
Okay,
Although you realise
questions,
Mike's answer is going to take a while.
questions from the gallery. What would every player character watch on Disney Plus? What would Ace have watched on Disney Plus, Sam?
Disney Plus.
Well, probably
Or-
all of the like Thor universe stuff, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a pretty basic answer.
Ragnarok has been
Um,
watched about 1 million times.
And Ace is sitting there the whole time
It
like
would have
this.
been like Vikings and any and all documentaries about puppies. Anything that was about like someone overcoming like evil and stuff like that.
Sounds like a
Any of
gardening
that
show.
would have been like yeah.
Mm.
I don't know about gardening. I don't know if they're super into that, but they would be into, if it was Netflix, they'd be into stuff like Blown Away and like there used to be one where they did metalwork as well, but I don't think it's on there anymore. But yeah, things like that.
Got Disney
Okay.
Plus open now so I can look.
Yeah, I'm
Me
literally.
too. I'm looking through the catalogue.
I think Dice I can answer for would probably be like me and mostly have gone with like sitcoms and various funny shows. Like there's a lot of dark going on in the world. She'd want some time to.
There's a couple of science
Decompress.
documentaries she would have been into as well, like the How It Works stuff.
Mm.
Oh yeah, she'd loved that. The How It Works stuff she would have been obsessed with. I
YouTube
think-
tutorial videos would have been Dice's thing, I think. Just YouTube
Yeah.
tutorial video. How do you do this? How do you do this?
We're looking on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Is it Simone Gertz you would have been subscribed to on YouTube?
I think Oriana would have watched Hercules and then written a very strongly worded letter to the Disney studios
Mm.
about Hades' depiction, and then it would be stuff like What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. How you have done my boy Hades dirty. Welcome
Yeah.
to my TED Talk.
Maleficent should probably enjoy watching that. But yeah, mostly anything like What We Do in the Shadows, the sort of
Oriana nudging
Comedy.
everyone, going, "Are my horns that pretty?
yeah,
I'm hot, right?
Do I look that good with wings?"
yeah.
Would you have watched Gargoyles?
Oh yeah.
Obviously.
You probably did, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I'm
But
like
Maleficent-
on that.
Mistress of Evil.
But
I think
she's
Oriana would have been there.
She's definitely watched The Ear as Tall a couple of times,
Oh yeah.
dancing around to it.
Yes. I thought Nightbot was a question then. It was like, do you feel sorry for the adventurers?
Yes.
Yeah. Constantly.
I feel like Sepsis would have watched anything that was like about scams and stuff like that. There's a series about Elizabeth Holmes, the
Yeah.
like the one who had that fake company for blood tests.
Would love
a lot
to
of-
watch it.
A
Yeah.
lot of like
Influencer
documentaries
and stuff like
with
that.
like a fully with a notebook being like, this is where they went wrong. This is what I can learn from this.
True crime,
Like,
I
would've
think
watched- yeah, I
Sepsis
was
would have
gonna
watched
say-
as well.
Yeah, true crime
We've
stuff.
been watching like the
Um,
Boston Strangler and like all the like American Horror Story shit.
I don't think that Sepsis would watch any fictional horror because I think that they
No.
would be
I mean,
terrified.
Boston Strangler is based on real events. It just
Yeah,
has
I
Keira
meant
Knightley in it.
American Horror Story.
Ah, okay.
Oh, does it? Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Quill.
The Reverend would watch the
Oh, the Reverend.
the Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
And also like any like sort of westernized cop drama kind of thing. And I think Quill would be into like the Percy Jackson series,
Yeah.
like any like heroic young adult stuff,
But also
Yeah, I
probably would
like
have
the
seen.
Divergent series and stuff.
Forgot about that one.
But also probably would have seen Princess Bride a million times.
1 million at
Yeah.
least, yeah. And
I-
is Zorro on Disney Plus? If Zorro's on Disney Plus,
I
Sepsis
can
will-
imagine.
the Quill would be watching Zorro every night to go to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Imagine Quill trying to get Oriana into Percy Jackson, and Oriana's like, I can't cope with this. What are they doing?
Quill would have
What is
such a
going
crush on Catherine Zeta-Jones in
Zorro.
Zorro.
Puss
Along
in
with
Boots.
everyone else. Puss
Puss
in
in
Quill would
Boots.
have to watch Puss in Boots.
Shrek.
I think Quill would hate Puss in Boots. I think Quill would watch Puss in
I
Boots
think-
once and be like, "This is nothing
What
like
would
me. I'm
happen-
going to kill anyone who says this is anything like me."
On Disney
Quill would
Plus.
try and get Oriana to watch the Percy Jackson stuff, and Oriana would put Shrek and Puss in Boots.
Quill would hate Puss in Boots for the same reason I hate the In-Betweeners and
Briefcase
and the Big Bang Theory, because like people who don't know Quill well and have like a really shallow understanding of those shows would be like, "Oh my god, you're just like Puss in Boots." Like
Yeah.
people going up to me growing up being like, "Oh my god, you're just like Sheldon. Oh my god, you're just like Will from the In-Betweeners." I'm going to fucking kill every last one of you.
Not watching Gods of Egypt.
Okay. I like that one. Okay. What was your immediate thoughts, Bri, when you realised you had killed Dice? Because your eyes told us there may have been some concern.
Put so many jokes that night.
Unbeknownst to me, immediately at the time, Millie's reaction was to go on to D&D Beyond Character Creator and immediately start making a new character.
Yeah.
Millie was fully
Yeah.
on board with Dice dying and making a new character. I expected
was I.
Yep, I expected to be sleeping on the sofa. So as I've said, in all of the instances, there was always a way out. We discovered that Ace was carrying around a portable defibrillator, and brought Dice back.
And I'm glad, as much as it would have been interesting to finally have a PC die.
Finally have a deadly
it was
encounter.
nice. It was nice to keep Dice. I like Dice.
Yeah, I think the argument.
And
with
Oriana
the-
would have been devastated.
I think the argument with the Drow Queen afterwards would have been a lot more heated.
Yeah, I think if Dice had died, things would have gone a lot darker for Oriana. Like that, I'm not entirely sure that entire Underdark would have survived because she would have just lost her shit.
I
Especially
rewatched that.
when they asked
Go on.
to go on. Especially when the Drow Queen was like, "Oh, can you go on to do, go after the Illithid?" I think Oriana would have just burnt the place to the ground.
I rewatched that a little while ago, and I think I was looking down at something, or I was looking away at something when it was happening. I was probably looking at my character sheet trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I remember you talking like about the disintegrate ray and Millie saying that she was unconscious, and my eyes just like
Yeah, I
like,
remember that.
lock
Your
to
faces
the
are wonderful.
like swap straight because I know what that does. Like I was
Oh,
like,
you-
I think I looked
no, you're
completely
not.
bewildered because I didn't know what was happening. I was like, what?
You were like a
Why is
meerkat.
Greg looking like that?
You were like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
meerkat.
I like
You were looking
popped
down.
up. I was like, what the fuck? That isn't that isn't what happened.
And then you can see yourself looking at me, like your eyes shift
Yeah.
because you're looking at me, and this
I was
big,
just staring at you to wait to see what you were gonna do. Yeah.
with a big shit-eating grin on your face, waiting for me to explain to my wife why she was
No,
now
it
dead.
wasn't. To be fair, there was no grin. If you watch it back, Greg also has a look of mild horror. If you
Yeah.
watch both of you, you're both like,
I
oh
was
shit.
Oh, shit.
I was internally delighted, but I didn't want to like
Okay.
give too much of a like indication of that.
I would have let her die. I think it would have been sad for the rest of the campaign because she was a good character and she had a lot of good moments thereafter. But I wouldn't have minded if she died. And I know that sounds odd, but
Yeah.
I think there's something quite fun in having to create a new character and having that memory of the character there afterwards, where everyone has to tell you about your character because your character's dead because you never met them. So
It doesn't.
I
It
think it
doesn't
would've
sound
been-
odd to me, and perhaps I'm the person it would sound odd to the least because famously I don't keep characters around. But also, I think that like the possibility of death in encounters is part of what makes the game fun.
yeah.
There was always the possibility of death in encounters.
Well, no, there wasn't.
Yes, there was.
You could have avoided all of this if you'd just let Dice die. I even texted you during it and was like, just let her die. I actually texted you a couple of times afterwards, after that encounter in Nasty Ones, where I was like, it is okay. If you need someone to kill,
You
kill Dice.
you changed your mind by the end of the campaign, though.
Yeah, I love Dice. I didn't want her. That's a misunderstanding. I didn't want Dice to go. I love Dice as a character. She was a lot of fun. I just think for storytelling purposes, it may have led it down an interesting path to have her. And I don't dislike how it went. Again, this is not a criticism of your DMing or anything else, because I love that she lived and we got to have that near-death moment and the conversations with Oriana afterwards where she was distraught that her friend nearly died and all of that. I think, you know, the nice thing about D&D is it doesn't really matter which path you go down because there's good stories down whichever path you end up on. And that's something I love about it.
Yeah. Like, you know, there's that old D&D adage, anyway, that a natural 20 is as good for the story as a natural 1.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I think meanwhile-
failing at something is still progresses the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saying
Yeah.
about you messaging Bri saying let her die and that you're okay with her dying. The last couple of weeks of our campaign, I messaged Bri going, "You can kill Oriana, just kill her."
I genuinely thought at one point Charlie just had enough.
Just kill
Kill
her.
Oriana, let her go.
It's because I sat there and I was like, I don't know how this campaign's going to end, but if it ends in a way that isn't, there was no way for it to end for Oriana where she was alive, because after everything she's gone and been through and become, she could never go on to have a normal life or do anything. And at that point, I was like, she has to die. She can't go on this way.
I understand that as well, because it was such an in-depth campaign that spanned not actually that much time in the game world, but for us such a massive amount of time, and the characters changed so much from everything they'd been through that we needed a fitting ending, right? We needed something that was a real ending for them. It couldn't be like the previous lot where they went on and
had
lived their
life.
lives and the Shield of Hope, and they were very courageous heroes, apart from maybe
Yeah.
Ace. They
No.
couldn't do that, so they needed a full stop, which they got.
I mean, in
and
the
you did well.
expanse of, like, how long was the campaign in game? It was like, what, a year, 2 years?
It was about a year and a half.
Year and a
We
half.
didn't have
And it's
enough
supposed to be a
birthday
year and a half.
parties.
Ariana went from being a stoner who slept around, who didn't want to do anything, didn't really have any responsibilities. You know, she had jobs she could do, but most of the time she fluked and didn't do them, to by the end of it, she is essentially the chosen of Hades, the granddaughter of Asmodeus, and has become a farrier of souls. What is she supposed to do with that? Other than die? She had to just become death itself.
Yeah, she pretty much had.
The campaign ending, then.
Yeah.
It ended.
It did.
How did everyone feel about the resolution?
Good.
I'm really glad that we managed to figure out that there was a third option, because neither of the original options were good, but I know that there's always a hidden third option somewhere, and we had to find it.
I feel bad that the Reverend got pulled into that.
Yeah.
Right, poor guy.
Reverend joined on for one little thing, and he's like, "I've got to do what now to save the what?"
Yeah, but on the other hand, of all my characters, the Reverend was the best one to have that happen to. Like, he was
Yeah, I
definitely
can't
the one.
imagine Sepsis in that
Oh,
situation.
Sepsis simply wouldn't have sacrificed themselves. There's
No,
way.
Sepsis
Not
would have done what Oriana
Join
first
the
said about
planet.
letting the other world die.
Yeah, not a shadow of a doubt. Sepsis would have let the other world die, and if you guys decided to sacrifice yourself, Sepsis would have killed you, or at least made a really solid effort at it. Like at that point, Sepsis would have attacked the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Which would have been a really awesome ending.
It would have been
that
amazing.
I think Quill would
really,
have had a
really
panic
fun.
attack.
I don't know. I don't know how that would have gone. I don't know. I haven't made Sepsis up to the level we are now.
I
so
have.
I don't know.
It would
I know
not
you
have
have.
been easy for them.
It wouldn't have been easy for either side,
No.
because like I always design Sepsis around taking on groups, but like everyone's got so many features, and the action economy wouldn't be on their side, and I don't know. I have no idea how it would have gone. I'm sure you guys would have beaten Sepsis, but it would have been a really dramatic ending. But yeah, and Quill would have sacrificed himself, but I prefer that he didn't. I prefer that he's, theoretically out there, helping people and doing cool shit, because Quill wasn't traumatized
No.
and like fucked up the way that you guys all were.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we sort of used to laugh at really traumatic things, and Quill would be like,
That sucks what you just said. I don't like that.
We'd give Quill a headache.
I think I think that Quill I think that's like part of why Quill left, or why it made sense for Quill to leave.
Everyone was too
Was-
fucking
I don't-
depressing.
Yeah, I just don't think he ever felt like a part of that group. Maybe that was part of why I wasn't getting on with the characters as much. But
Yeah, well, I think what was nice with Quill is that he came into our group, and I think our group then gave him purpose, because he was just wandering. He didn't know what to do with himself, and he was just a rich boy, and suddenly he had a purpose.
came in with a very naive idea that he could just go out into the world, and like he had this knowledge that if he just went out into the world, somehow he would end up helping to fix things.
Yeah.
And
"You did."
through the magic of you guys, that turned out to be accurate against all odds. But then like making a huge change to the world did end up being like, oh, this is my purpose. I need to do something about what I've done here.
I just
Yeah,
remembered another favourite moment.
I just remembered my
Optimus
actual-
Resilient Sphere.
the resilient sphere. Yeah,
Yeah.
just you
Yeah.
making me read the entire description of that very long spell in excruciating detail. Be like, exactly what does it block?
Everything.
Yeah,
And it
that was.
my favorite. In fact, I'm gonna rejig my favorite moments. My favorite moments are every time after you did that, you discovered another change to the world.
Oh yeah.
that you hadn't
Yeah.
anticipated.
They all made so much sense as well. You really, I mean, obviously you know this world so well, but like you have such a good understanding. Like I never encountered anything where I was like, well, this should have been changed by what Quill did. But there are a number of things where we went into it. It's like, oh, this is different. Why is this? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did
Of
that.
course it is.
You did that, and I was like, oh, I've got to do some rewriting. And it was just me sitting there, then like every night for 4 hours for a week, thinking, what are the socioeconomic ramifications on this far-flung country that they're never going to visit? However, is the main exporter of this, therefore will affect this country as well.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, oh my god.
I didn't realise I gave you a second part-time job.
You genuinely did. It was the first time I'd considered using spreadsheets in my life.
Heavy did ask if any of the characters found out of Sepsis' little hobby, and I don't think we did.
No,
No.
never.
Yeah,
really,
We
no.
never did.
We knew they'd been doing some dodgy stuff, but Dice's
didn't
big
know
problem was
what.
the Val Darkness. We never knew about all the
Yeah.
murders.
I think the closest was the guard.
Yeah.
The guard in Paras. Paras?
No, London, I think.
Nope.
Londinium.
Londinium.
No.
No, was
Nope.
it not?
Tau.
I thought it was Londinium.
Tau.
The
Yeah.
first fucking city
Yeah,
we
well,
went
Yeah,
to.
it's so early
yeah.
on, yeah.
Swansea. It was
Yeah. The closest was that guard. I don't remember how I got out of that.
Oh, the
but-
question is,
There was an avalanche.
would have
or
to
something,
do-
wasn't there?
Yeah. What would you have done if we found out? Ooh.
Oh.
I think
I think
Ariana would want
early
to
on.
know why.
Mm.
And Ariana would probably sit them down to have a discussion about why they were doing this.
That's a really mild reaction to finding out your friend's a serial killer. Like
Yeah.
an intervention.
Yeah, I think Ace would have had like a minor moral crisis because like we kill the bad guys that kill people, or we put the bad guys that kill people in jail, and like they
Mhm.
wouldn't
No, we
feel
never
like
did
they
that, we
want to
just
do
murdered
that
them.
to a friend. So, and also
think-
it would depend how early on they knew as well. Like if we had found out during the guard, I
Mm.
think that would have been like more catastrophic for Ace than it would have been later on, because Ace had seen other behaviours from them by then.
I think Dice would probably have caused a roll for initiative because my thought process here is we can't put people in prison because the prisons are run by the Inquisition and the Inquisition are bad and we've already seen that, so that's not an option. We can't allow a Sepsis to carry on killing. If they've been doing this for a long time, they're not likely to stop. Therefore, there is only one viable outcome to this situation.
Yeah, and Ace probably would have fought you on it. It would have been a Winter Soldier Civil War situation.
Oh,
And
I'm
Ariana.
glad.
Yeah.
Well, and Ariana would be like, now let's hear them out. Let's see why they've been doing it.
I'm not
and
gonna hear
can
them out
we use
on
it
that.
to our advantage.
I always assumed that the answer would just be that you would at least cast them out of the party. That like everyone would just be like,
I couldn't justify letting them loose on the world knowing what they're doing. It depends how much I knew, right? If I knew
Oh,
about one
you're-
murder,
your reaction was fully in my spectrum of what I would have expected. Like I fully expected that one day Sepsis would get caught if something else didn't happen to take them out of the campaign first. And the spectrum for me of what would happen was, at best, the party is like, we can't kill you because you're important to us, but if we ever fucking see you again, we will. And at worst, immediately jumped and attacked, and then it would be, at that level, it would have been a fight to get away,
Yeah.
more than anything else. Like that was what I expected if I got caught. So to hear like Charlie's like, so
Hear 'em out.
tell me about your reasoning here. It's
Yeah.
like,
Let's learn about your trauma in more detail.
hmm.
see, I couldn't justify letting Sepsis continue doing that, you know? I think you've got to take a hard stance. We don't have time to be babysitting a serial killer if we're also supposed to be...
Yeah, I guess that
Saying Oriana
comes
wouldn't
into
have-
what.
Wouldn't have then gone on to fight Sepsis afterwards if then they found out that they were doing it out of some sick, twisted need, or...
Yeah,
So what valid reason is there?
so again, another thing that
You've never played
Obvious-
Dark Urge on Baldur's Gate.
obviously I always had it in mind that if Sepsis got caught, that they were going to have to try and justify themselves. They would have done their absolute level best, and I'll remind you that their level best was pretty fucking good when it comes
was.
to deception and persuasion.
Mhm.
You convinced Oriana that the planet was flat.
Yeah, They would have done their absolute level best to try and convince you that whoever they got caught killing was trying to kill them.
Yeah.
So we would have had to get through that layer
Harder to
first.
explain.
Yeah, and
But if I
Fingers might have been
persuaded,
harder to-
but if they persuaded you that they were acting in self-defense, then you would never have found the fingers.
Well, unless we found out because we found the fingers.
Oh yeah, that would have been a real problem.
that would have been a real problem. I think what Greg's saying, though, I agree. We would never have found out because I went through so many insight checks against
Really?
Sepsis, and I failed every single time. And I was proficient in insight, and never once did it help me. I think once I rolled like a 30-something, and Sepsis rolled like a 36. It got ridiculous, and it just never worked out.
I got lucky a few times, but again, like that's the other thing is we have to remember that like it wouldn't have been as simple as you guys succeeding on one insight check, because if you succeeded on the one, then there would have been another lie, and then another lie, and like it would probably get harder for Sepsis to convince you if they failed on, on consecutive rolls, but they would have had an explanation. I always had an explanation ready. I always had a thing of like, this is what happened. This is how this happened.
Sepsis's deceptions had layers.
The guard. I was if with the guard, the plan was that I had gone to check them out because they were showing an interest in Oriana, and I thought they were suspicious. And when they caught me checking them out, that they tried to kill me for it. That was the lie I had prepared. And like, I don't know, probably had a good chance of convincing you.
Oh, you would have done.
Yeah.
I've just thought of another favourite moment.
Yeah.
Was it killing someone in the bath?
No. Don't follow me.
Hmm.
Gone.
Actually, Sepsis leaving.
It's good.
Whenever
I
he's-
thought of another favourite moment. I just thought of another favourite moment. It's the fucking box of hands.
Yeah, don't let dice touch anything. From that moment on, if we found anything, it was just holding dice back. Don't touch it.
It's like the first time Sepsis in their life has ever experienced like the feeling of vindication. like you absolutely don't need to poke and prod at that box. Leave that fucking box alone, and then we get attacked by a load of fucking necrotic hands. And
It gave us some information. It was valuable information.
I agree. I the person. I as a
Wanted to know what was
player,
in the box.
I'm very excited and happy that we found the box of hands and
I just
got
love
to have that experience.
I love that we just kept it up for years later. Going as soon as we found a box, it was like, don't touch it.
Yeah, just being like, this is another box of hands scenario right here.
And then Greg's sitting there going, a box of hands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking love that box of hands.
We
That
once
was a
found
great
this box of
encounter.
hands on this box on a train. We were told not to touch it, and Dice touched it, and then we had to fight necrotic hands.
In scenarios like that, like Dice must have been almost as much of a gift to you as Quill was, because it's like Quill gave you the opportunity to give us like lore dump, whereas with Dice there you had the absolute knowledge that if you put something in front of us, someone was going to poke at it.
Why was there a cold box, guys? Why was the box cold?
I agree.
Turns out because it had a load of hands in it.
I agree. However, I think, at least in my mind, a greater gift was the Reverend.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
And I kept meaning to tell you this. And the only reason being, it's like, right, we're going to Gracia. The only reason we're going to Gracia is we're going to be very Oriana-centric. But the only link is going to be Hades and Oriana's interest in, obviously, the Grecian gods and the culture and everything. When you turned around, with no knowledge of what you'd ever find in Gracia at all, and said, I want to make them Grecian, and oh, by the way, Hephaestus fucking hates me.
Yeah.
As soon as you gave me that background with Hephaestus, who at that moment was already the big bad of Gracia.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I was so happy.
I didn't realize I'd done that.
I hadn't. No, it wasn't like a cause and effect. You didn't give me the Reverend that I made Hephaestus the bad guy.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought that I thought the Hephaestus was so involved with what we were doing because that was who I had a background with.
No. The Hephaestus was already there, and I was I was like, how can I, what's gonna be the hook here?
Yeah.
Oh, why do I always just play into your hands?
It was so good. And as soon as you turned around and said Hephaestus, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah, that would be an option, sure.
It's just like
You were like, oh yeah, I'm playing around with Witch God. I've pissed off. No.
Hephaestus. You said
Fine as it
Hephaestus
is.
now.
Fine as it is.
Yeah. God, imagine if I'd then been like, oh, actually, I think it's Ares.
Oh, no,
You don't want to piss off the God of War.
Ares is dead at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
But yes, Chronicles of
That's
Nidum
wacky.
Rover.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That was definitely another gift you gave me when you gave me the background for the Reverend. Was that Hephaestus hates you? I was like, oh, I'm so happy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that campaign.
But that is the end of the Chronicles of Nidum Q&A. However, it's not the end of this stream, because now, for all of those who are interested, you can leave otherwise. Oh, actually, before I mention this, I have to admit I was gutted I didn't get to join you lot for a session as a Politeus. Yeah,
we were gutted as well, mate.
I was. I know life got in the way, but I did have quite a bit of an interaction geared up between you guys and Politeus, because obviously you were a member of their gladiator school for a bit, and that would have been good. But no, I'm gutted that didn't come to pass. Talking about guests, though.
Yeah.
The next campaign.
New campaign, who this bitch?
Yeah.
I don't know who this bitch.
So, yes, I have presented all of the players you see before you with a text document, which is...
Yeah, you did.
I might even read it one day.
You've read it already, which is quite a few pages long. Which basically presented
I'm very
them...
excited.
I read it in bed because Rich went, are you ever going to read that document? I was like, oh, for God's sake, give me my phone.
Brian knows I've read
as
it.
soon as Bryce sent it, and I made my character that night.
Brian knows I've read it because the other day we had a conversation where I was asking him a load of follow-up questions, and then he was like, you have to leave some stuff to find out in the campaign.
Yeah, I've been doing that. We'll be playing Helldive, and I was like, hey, so, by the way, in this world, does this happen?
It was the build-up to the end of the campaign, where you were like, come on, I want to make my new character for the next campaign, tell me what's going to happen, what kind of world is it going to be? And I'm just like, but do you now understand the end of this campaign, the three choices you had?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, we understood all along, we were just giving you shit.
Yeah, it was just going to be such
Why
a...
did you play with us?
I made a character that was going to be a satyr barbarian, and I thought, yeah, great, we'll do this, it'll be great. I said, but, depending on how the campaign ends, I've got a completely different character now. Completely different character.
So, Cliff Notes. The next campaign will be set in the new world that they've created at the end of this one. The merged worlds of modern day and magic.
Yeah, AD's probably right, Bri, that you should explain before we do that, just in case anyone's
How
watching
this
this in the
happened,
future, what the three choices were and how those campaigns
Yes, I apologize.
Were
So
differentiated.
that's right. At the end of the Chronicles of Nidum, then there were three choices presented to the players, where through a portal, multiverse fuckery, and a cosmic wish spell thing. You can tell I never named it, right? That basically they could either choose to, well, actually, a bit further back, 2,000 years ago, a choice made, or 1,000 years ago,
maybe too far back.
1,000 years ago, a choice made by King Arthur to return the gift that the Fae gave him to them, separated the worlds of man, or the material world and the magic realm. At the end of this campaign, they were given the choice to either destroy the material world,
Which is
in
our
doing
world.
so, which is this real life, whichever, and in doing so save their own, so the magical world would continue. Destroy the magical world, save the real one. Either choice basically would have meant that they would have had to sacrifice like 8 billion souls to save the other, or because of some incredible and very high investigation and tinkering rolls from dice, the third option was to do away with the choice that Arthur made way back when and merge the worlds together, saving as many lives as possible. But in doing so, they would have to sacrifice their own souls to power the change in the spell. There was no stopping the spell, it was only, they could only change it.
You can't stop the rock.
So the Mass Effect endings, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, do. Basically,
Yeah.
the Mass Effect endings. The end of Mass Effect 3.
Oh, I thought you
No,
stole
no,
this
it's
whole
original.
campaign from Baldur's Gate. You stole it all from Mass Effect.
No thought is an original thought.
But no story is
Everything
an
has
original
already been
story.
thought up before.
Baldur's
Yes.
Effect.
The Baldur's Effect.
Baldur's Effect 3. But yes, what the players chose to do was merge the magical worlds, and they got to see a very short snippet of what that world could possibly look like through the eyes of a child waking up to the world that way for the first time. So,
You know what my least favourite thing is about this?
What?
Fucking Marcus got back.
Yeah, I know. But he got to see his
Okay,
kids, so
go.
that's nice.
Probably dead by the time our campaign starts because he's mortal again.
Yeah.
Or very old.
he was only in his 40s.
That's really old. Being
Really
old
old.
is really
Jesus
old.
You know,
Christ.
things-
I didn't say it.
Why do you talk to us? I don't get it.
Glutton to
Uh,
punishment. This is
no.
actually his kink. He's really enjoying himself right now.
So the new campaign,
Segregation and all that.
Sad, isn't it?
the new campaign
He is.
will be set 25 years after the merging of worlds. There has been, as you can imagine, with the population of the world suddenly going from 8 to 16 billion,
Some upheaval.
there has been some upheaval.
Hmm.
An incredible amount of upheaval. There was a war that you will learn more about during the campaign.
Ominous.
The war has since ended, and a relative, by the time you get to where the campaign starts, there has been peace and a almost true merging of the material and the magical, since the city's technology will look very different as the campaign begins, and I will obviously be able to explain that in a lot more detail when it starts. However, regardless of a lot of, I suppose, fuel issues or food issues now being solved by magic. What have I missed?
Stu said there's going to be orcs in the job centre in Weatherspoon's quests.
Might be. There.
If we meet in a Weatherspoon's, I quit.
No, whereas like magic has now
Can't support that.
magic has now solved like a lot of issues, like food, fuel, energy, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, there is still only a finite amount of world to go around. And now that there are 16 billion people on the planet instead of 8, there are ideas from higher-ups, world governments, about trying to find a place or expand the kingdom to other realms, other planes, or perhaps other worlds as well. So it is then where you find the beginning of the campaign. There is a suppose, an organization or an agency called URSA, the United Races Seekers Alliance, which will be established about 2 years before the campaign starts. Its prime directive being to seek out new life and new civilizations. Literally that. To seek out new spaces, terrestrial or otherwise, that are habitable to stave off the problems in the future of overpopulation.
We're going plane shifting, bitches.
It is both a military and civil organization, and it recruits from all races without prejudice and trains its many recruits in all manner of skills, from the martial to the diplomatic, to just go out and discover. So this is where the new campaign setup comes in. Everyone will begin at level 3. The new campaign will actually begin when you have just finished your training. When you become official agents, like I'll either do it as you're having, or you've just had your passing out ceremony. So you are now fully fledged agents of URSA, and you will be getting your first quest, which I'm not going to tell you about until session 1.
So, like, when's session 1?
Next week?
You will
We
have.
can do next week, can't we?
I believe we can.
Let me check.
M has a more social life. Yes, that was
M
good
has a
English, but also
social
bad.
life. The rest of us
M
don't.
has a social life. I don't go anywhere, so M, you're free.
24th, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
free.
Night, Heavy.
24th, I'm
Night,
free.
Eddie.
So. Oh. Yeah, I think I sent you the thing where I was just like, I'm free for these weekends, and then I am in
America.
NOLA. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
We can do session 1, but then we've got a gap, I think, of a little bit.
Do session 1 and
Surprise.
2, and then there's a gap.
Yeah, because I'm in NOLA, and then I'm away in a different part of Wales, and then I'm back.
It's okay.
But yes, as characters, the session 0, you will all have trained separately after joining URSA, at least at some point. However, you will have known each other and trained closely together, as it was discovered that your skills, your temperaments complemented each other for at least the last 6 months. So you will have been dorming together and training together for the last 6 months. So you know each other at this point, I suppose, as well as you would like to. Depending on your personalities, you may be very standoffish, you may be a little more open. It's entirely, you know as much about each other as the other person is willing to share, or you're willing to inquire about.
Okay.
So yeah, 6
I have a
months
question I
training
need to
together.
ask you all later then.
Cool. That's fine. But it's 6 months, so it's literally entirely up to you how much you will have cared to pursue a friendship other than just like a working relationship. But yes, you will be a unit, the 4 of you. The way that URSA is set up, and this is where guests come in. The way that URSA is set up, your main unit will be gifted quests, or will be gifted kind of missions for you to go out on. Sometimes those missions, if they have already been planned a little bit by the higher ups, instead of giving you additional equipment or sending you to like the quartermaster for a particular set of tools, set of weapons that you might need, you will be gifted an additional operative. So one of you may be very, very good at diplomacy. One of you may be very, very, very good with your charisma. However, because it's a diplomatic mission, perhaps it requires more than one of you to be incredibly good at speaking to people, for example. Mm-hmm. So you'll be given another bard / diplomat monk / that kind of thing to go with you. And this is where the community comes in. It's not going to happen straight away. I do want the campaign to start, and at least the first adventure arc to be just our main characters finding their feet. But eventually there will be further quests for other people to join in on.
So excited.
Is this Bry's plan of giving goths and D&D players real magic? All the nerds rising up. This is what we trained for. As it happens,
This is our time.
Yeah.
as it
yeah.
happens, it is literally in the text document.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it.
There's a section about nerds
There we go.
and
Nerds and geeks.
D&D players getting called in as experts.
Nerds and
Yeah.
geeks become the powerhouses of interspecies diplomatic relations as they enjoyed interacting with species they had only ever experienced through popular culture.
I mean, let's be honest. If this was real and I looked out the window and I suddenly saw like giant chews and dragons, for a start, I'm changing my job.
Yeah. But yes, this is what
I don't know, Bill. Some of the businesses you could be registering.
Or we could have some fun with that. Anyway,
Some
I know that's not for
fraud
this campaign.
investigation you could do into those businesses.
like
That'd
only
be so fun.
only fawns. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Get out.
No, I was the one that said about nymphs absolutely racking it in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, goodness me.
I think it was giant trees, Tony. Trees, not
Yeah.
cheese, not giant cheese and dragons.
Although, no reason you couldn't make cheese giant.
Mm.
Just-
But yes, so that's how it will work. I will reach out to you. I've got a list of the first couple of people that I want to get involved. You're first, Biggie.
Because he's been asking for such a long time.
You're first, Biggie, because you are, apart from AD, who kind of had to be here for the beginning of it quite a lot, like probably the longest fan we have, right?
Yeah.
Who's still here, still watching. So yeah, you're first, Biggie. But yes, that's how it will work. So it could be diplomatic adventures that you have to that take place on Earth. It could be finding a new place to go in one of the other elemental realms. It could be there's many different places we can go. But yeah, I wanted it to be. It is going to be, I think, more fun. It's not going to be as dark as Nidum. That's
not a particularly high bar. Less dark, more fun. We had a lot of fun playing Medium, but
less dark.
Less dark is not a.
No,
that's not going to be a challenge for you. I don't think.
No, it's going to be a
I'm
bit more
so
joyous. Because the other two options they had, if they had destroyed either one of the other worlds, yeah, there was as dark as Nidum.
Grittier. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the choices was going to lead to an entire campaign, and this is me showing my age now, set in... You guys remember the bit of Neverending Story after, like, the cataclysm has happened and the entire planet is, like, lots of disjointed chunks of rock with buildings on it? That's basically what the campaign was going to be like for a long time.
It's just you,
Yeah, it's probably just my internet being funny.
Yeah, and like every 5 minutes you would have seen like Atreyu like losing a horse in a swamp. But
Wow.
Spoilers, man.
Funny enough, I had two screenshots from that movie earlier sent to me by Anna. Said that her mum was inflicting childhood trauma on her.
I am so excited for this campaign.
I'm really keen to get started. I don't like gaps between campaigns, just because then I have time to feel sad about the previous one.
I want to play D&D.
Yeah, that's the main thing for me. I really want to play D&D.
have you got character names? Yeah, I know you've done your character name, Charles.
I think everyone but me has a character name.
My character's
I picked my character's
currently
name this afternoon, but yeah.
my
Yeah,
character's name is currently James Acaster, so
Which I think it should stay.
That's
When I saw it, I was like, yes.
that's very much a placeholder.
Aw.
I'm
I
thinking
like
Ren.
Okay.
With a
it'd
W?
be- yes, probably.
Renu.
My character will be Elodie Roanoke is her name.
Elodie.
Elodie.
Very nice.
Ellie, probably.
For the guests, there are 3 factions of races you can choose from that the players are already aware of. There's the returned, which is exactly what it says on the tin. There are those that have returned to the material plane from the magical one. So either they were alive or were born to people who've lived in the magical plane that Nidum was set in for the last 2,000 years. There are the left, which are those that were left behind in the material plane when the worlds were sectioned off. So the 8 billion people who have lived without magic for the last 2,000 years. And then there are the awakened. So because magic returned, it has awakened some kind of, I don't know, recessive gene that has long been dormant when their ancestors were frolicking with elves and orcs. So these awakened aren't, some of them, like for the most part, the awakened aren't quite fully elf, or so you have half elf or half orc or half tiefling or half half Aarakocra, which would look really weird. But
make up with one feather.
Yeah, some of those awakened go all the way, like fully that race, which is what has happened to Charlie's character, who has lived in the material plane without magic up until a certain age, but then to the delight or possibly horror of their parents suddenly woke up one day as an elf. So yeah, you'll see lots of different ramifications, lots of different races in the world. The choice is yours, basically. When I ask for a guest, I will obviously discuss it with you off stream. I'll discuss it with you privately in detail so that you can make your own choices. But all I'm going to give you is a class. I'll give you a class I need you to play for this quest. You make your character. You make your race. You choose whether you were awakened, returned, or left. And that's it. It's up to you. What I will do, though, is once you've made your character, we'll have a little bit of a chat, or give us your background. I'll feed it to the players, because as an agent of Ursa, you will know each other. Mm-hmm. So when you pop in, you won't have to do the whole, yes, I'll ask you to describe yourself for the stream, but you won't have to do the whole introducing yourself and getting involved with the party.
Does he mean the whole introducing yourself?
All you'll have to do, Charlie, slap him. All you'll have to do is basically go, hi, reporting for duty, and they'll be like, oh, cool, I haven't seen you since, combat training. How's it going?
Remember training when you fell down that hole?
No, that's a hole.
I know it is. They're both whole.
But anyway, yeah, that's how your introduction to the party will work, basically, is that you'll already know each other. Either, again, you can decide amongst yourselves, either quite well or just in passing, but they'll have heard of you from you going on other missions, for example. But yeah, so we've got currently, I think, a druid.
Yeah.
A rogue. Who's the rogue? There we go. An undecided. Ace, have you decided?
Yeah, cleric.
Oh, sorry,
if you refresh it, Rich, it does say cleric, not knowledge domain, because it makes sense.
And a bard?
Yep.
Bard Warlock.
Bard Warlock. Because of course.
Yep.
Sorry, is multi-classing a character flaw now? Is that a...
No.
To be fair, my rogue will eventually be a rogue bard, and I may go back and put that in, so...
I might end up a druid barbarian eventually, but we'll see.
But yes.
Want to see a bear rage?
I have already obviously gathered quite a lot of information from the backstories of everyone. Very, very excited. I'm very, very excited for at least two people, because I have their backstories, and
You know shit all
some
about me.
little
Yes.
finicky stuff that I've really got to work out the voice for them, Charlie. I've got to work out what kind of voice they're going to have, because that's going to happen a lot.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
you're going to make me do it all
Yep.
the time.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
That's if they find. I mean, that's if they find them.
yeah.
If they find out about them. But yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to this one.
I'm really excited to get started, and now I know we can start on Sunday.
I can take or leave it. I might not show up.
Shut up, Frank.
Sure.
I will be there. I will be there. I don't care.
Okay.
I will be there with bells.
So excited to play this character.
Kind of really into holdovers at the moment, so I might do that instead. But you guys feel free to have fun without me.
Greg's challenge this campaign is to keep one character.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
I have set myself that challenge, which is going to be really funny if Bri kills my
I killed
character.
him.
Don't worry, that's not going to happen. Bri can't run a deadly encounter. It's not possible.
I don't need to roll a deadly encounter. I just get an NPC to kill you without a saving throw. I'm the DM. I can straight up just kill you.
Yeah, you could absolutely. You won't, but you could.
No, because I'm not that kind of DM.
No.
Yeah.
And I'd post about you on Reddit.
And even if you did kill me, you'd be like, "Oh, you're actually in the Revivify room, and every 6 seconds the Revivify spell gets cast on any dead bodies in this room. So you're back. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm sorry. You gain a level.
That's a good idea. Revivify room. That'd be cool.
Every room we've ever had an encounter in was the Revivify room.
Brilliant.
And on that note, I think I just want to say, obviously, thank you to everyone who has watched. Thank you to everyone who will watch the Chronicles of Nidum. It was a lot of fun being able to share our adventure with everyone.
And we want to say thank you to Bri for making a whole world for us to play around in, and putting up with our shit and working so hard to make it like just incredibly immersive and real.
And also,
we enjoyed the whole thing.
We did.
The whole
I'm also credit to you, Bri, for being able to adapt to any weird shit we threw at you. You were just like, okay, roll with it.
As well as putting up with us having to cancel sessions because of shit happening, and yeah.
That's fine. I forgive you now, because Griffin likes me. I was prepared to write you off as friends because he hated me for like a year and a half.
He didn't hate you. He was scared of you.
He was terrified of me.
He struck terror into his heart.
He liked you.
He didn't know many old men before then, you know.
I'm sure it was
So he didn't like Rog either for a little bit.
He liked Rog.
didn't.
He didn't like Roger's
No, he
next
didn't.
neighbour.
No, for a while he didn't like
Oh, no,
Dad.
he didn't like Roger.
Yeah, he
no.
was scared of
he
Dad
didn't
as well.
Dad, yeah.
Nothing to do with the beard. He liked Nick immediately.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's true. He liked you. He liked you as soon as you taught him how to
Fist
bump.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, not just. I mean, yeah, we had to cancel sessions, especially towards the end of my pregnancy, and then as I was recovering. But also when I had 2 miscarriages, so,
yeah,
but also them providing an escapism when I was going through that, and
Yeah.
it was very nice to be able to be like, everything's going to shit, but I'm gonna go be a tiefling whore now. So
Yes. I wanted to thank you guys for living in the world that I created for you, and well, not for you, but I'm glad I eventually met you and you guys got to play in it, because as I've said many times before, the world has been a series of unwritten novels in my head since I was like 15 years old. So I was technically
you
cheap.
should write, by the way.
Yes. I can now because I have a
knows what
solid
happens.
story from beginning to end.
It might need some editing. The train section might need to be like trimmed a little bit.
Well, no, because in written form, it'll actually only be a couple of chapters.
Yeah, it'd just be a couple of chapters. It wouldn't take 6 months. That's true.
Yeah,
Might
that's-
want to change
I
it
just
to one
remember that in
chapter.
like it was like 2021, wasn't it? Or
Mhm.
maybe
Yeah, it was
yeah,
just after
when we were just it was like May, and we were like, we've been on this train literally the entire year.
We've
Yeah.
been here for so long.
But no, it was having that story and not being able to share it in writing, but then being able to share it with you guys and consequentially, obviously, everyone else who was watching and has enjoyed was a massive, massive joy for me. So thank you everyone. I'm glad I got to share that, and that's the thing. That
Brian
was
has to
just
end the
like
stream before he starts crying.
no, that was just like the first volume.
Mm.
Chronicles of Nidum. That was what happened in the magical realm.
One-
I've also written what would happen or in my head, I've written what would happen if the worlds merged. So I still know everything about the next world that you're going to go into. So this is going to be fun.
So excited. I'm
We are-
thrilled to get to play a druid.
We are very committed to fucking up everything you think is going to happen.
Cool. Go for it. My favorite one actually was I was once I presented the prologue because the prologue it's about 6-7 pages long, and it's the only thing I've ever written down and put pen to paper, and I'm happy with it, or I was happy with it until I provided it or sent it to Millie's mum. Because Millie read it and said, "This is really good. You should send it to my mum. She's a published author. She's got like creative
Very
writing
importantly,
degree
she's
and
got a master's in creative writing, and
Yeah,
she will
she's-
rip it apart for you for funsies.
masters in creative writing." And Millie's mum turned around and said, "This is really good, but," and then like 37 critique points later, was like, "Yeah, you can fix it." But then we were having a conversation. I was like, she's like, "Oh, how do you find dialogue? I've always had a real issue with writing dialogue and making it believable." And I'm like, "Oh, that's fine, because all I've got to do is watch the YouTube videos of the campaign as everyone plays them, and then I'll just transcribe what they say." And she went, "You can't do that. That's cheating. That's not fair. You have to do it like every other author. You can't just get 4 friends to pretend to be the characters."
If they can't get 4 friends, give them a scenario and say go.
But yeah, apparently that's cheating, and I'm not allowed to do it.
Tell her
So-
we're very sorry for
Yeah,
improving
very
your novel for you.
Yeah, exactly. But no, thank you all for joining us on this journey, and I hope that you will stick around for the next campaign and enjoy that journey as well. But for now,
I also hope you all enjoy that journey. I won't be a part of it because it sounds boring.
whatever.
Funny.
But for now, again, thanks to those who have watched, thanks to those who will watch. Take care, stay safe. We love you guys, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.